most of what we saw were crimes of poverty. People who were stealing things like toothpaste, people who were stealing things like, soap. And that means if you're stealing those things, you need them. The true crime is that there is such incredible wealth disparity in this city.
DSA member and New York State Assemblywoman Emily Gallagher says it's okay to shoplift if the thieves have a, quote, biological need for the products. New York Post asked shoppers in the city about the DSA member's shoplifting defense, and one said, quote, it's foolish to think one should not be punished for stealing. It is a crime. Another pointed out, quote, people are going to feel entitled because they know they can walk in and walk out and nothing will happen. And one added, if they see that you do nothing, they'll keep coming back. They'll tell their friends and it becomes a free-for-all. Pretty much common sense there. Now, law professor Jonathan Turley agrees, writing, of course, if socialism in New York follows history, there will be many more in need of five-finger discounts. House Speaker Mike Johnson was on my show this weekend, and he had this to say about socialism.
Karl Marx believed, and he taught and said, socialism is a step towards communism. It's a process. They thought communism would be the utopia, the perfect society, but it begins with the wrong premise. Communism is anti-American. It's the opposite of our ideals. We're one nation under God. Communism begins with the premise that there is no God. The state is the God, effectively.
Emily, so it's not stealing if there's a biological need for the product. This is insane.
It's patently absurd, and it's embarrassing, frankly, that this type of immature viewpoint is allowed here. We're in Manhattan, for God's sake. Like, it kills me that there has been some type of translation and direct line from these kiddie school classrooms on whatever their Tony schools are to all of a sudden actually having legislative or decision-making authority here in this street. As someone who lives here and sees these kind of robberies all the time, I can assure you it is not someone who is hungry who is stealing a piece of bread. This is not Oliver, for God's sake. The fact that every store here has everything locked down, the fact that we've all seen people come in with garbage cans and take a bunch of stuff running down the street. This show's not long enough to describe how many times we have seen things like this. And when she talks about the wealth disparity, that is certainly under no circumstances should be addressed by some type of thieving from the rich to then just give to the poor. The handout is not what we do. The economic infusion has been lost. The incentivization for businesses has been obliterated. Midtown is a ghost town. And then people wonder why it's big tech firms that are moving in and buying up business. They're the only ones that can afford it. So if she continues down this academic path, she will see for herself that the city will crumble even more. But I wonder also what she's going to do the next time she's the victim of the robbery. Will she give it freely and say, you must have biologically needed this? I doubt it.
Yeah, great point. And I'd love to think, Lisa, that this is a one-off, but it is not. I want to play the soundbite for you because in California, they're advancing a bill in the state assembly that would lessen some of the penalties for theft. And here's one of the proponents of that bill. Listen to what she says. She calls it a crime of necessity. Watch.
The amendments make it clear that this policy only applies to low-level theft crimes, no felonies, and codifies case law. And while we have diversion programs for drugs and mental health, we do not have the same for crimes of necessity led by poverty.
I mean, what's a crime of necessity?
Well, socialism is theft, so no wonder they support it. These are people who can't produce, so they steal instead. Starting with Karl Marx, who started it all. I'll tell you a story about him. He grew up to a father that was a lawyer. He went to an elite university, but he still couldn't cut it. He still squandered it. He was in debt. He couldn't hold a career as well. So instead, he lived off of this guy, Frederick Engels, who also came from a very wealthy family. So this is a guy who had every opportunity and still squandered it. And that's the story of the socialists even today. On the big show over the weekend, we interviewed this guy, Oliver Larkin, who's running for Florida's 25th congressional district. He's a socialist. Guess what about his background? All right, so this guy went to Phillips Exeter Academy, which is one of the most elite boarding schools in the entire country. He went to Sewanee University, which is a great school, but also known to have a lot of very wealthy kids. Phillips Exeter Academy costs over $70,000 a year to go to school there. Then you go to Grand Platter, Hotchkiss, over $80,000 a year for boarding school. Zohran Mamdani, Bank Street here in New York City, right? So these are very wealthy, privileged kids who had every opportunity handed to them. They still can't cut it. That's how pathetic they are. So then they lie to the American people. They lie to the public. They say this is about income inequality. They draw you in. They get your votes. And then they destroy the very thing that made them and their families.
And, you know, Cheryl, they say this is about treatment, not jail. But there's a great point made that a lot of times, first-time people with theft, perpetrators do not get jail time.
Right.
So
small crimes lead to bigger crimes. and worse crimes. We have seen that in the stats, whether it is on, whether it's murder cases that we've covered and talked about on the couch, or whether it's, crimes of poverty, as we're saying. You know how many drugstores have closed in New York City since 2019? 274. Do you know that is about 49% of the drugstores in New York City that are gone? Gone because of misguided policies like this. Because I remember all the stories, sitting in a Duane Reade and watching a guy just go in, pick out a case of beer. I don't think he was doing that for nutritional purposes. And then he walked out. No, I'm just kidding. He's out the door. Nothing happens. Look, and by the way, these aren't individuals. These are gangs. Gangs are the ones, all that toothpaste that's being stolen and the makeup and everything else, it's getting resold. I hate to say it, on Amazon and eBay. These are actual gangs that are operating these enterprises. So don't give me it's, the person needs it for hygiene because they can't get a toothpaste.
I might disagree
with
you on the biological need for beer. Let's at least just say this. So look, she's making the case of poverty. Poverty is not a permission slip to steal. And, you look at this is a New York Assemblywoman. Remember, what are they smoking in the New York Assembly? It produced Zohran Mamdani, and now we've got Emily Gallagher with this. At the end of the day, if you go back, I'm not aware of any Karl Marx writing that is pro-shoplifting. And at the end of the day, when you look at what it's going to do, and Cheryl was making such a great point, which is this is class warfare. It's creating class warfare, and she in that rant she was railing against billionaire companies like CVS and Walgreens. That's going to cause those stores to close in areas, in many cases, that have the greatest need for those. I remember covering the Baltimore riots, and in the aftermath, they burned down the CVS. And I was talking to the residents of West Baltimore, and they were so upset that their CVS had burned to the ground. They said, we, petitioned for years to get it. We need it so desperately for medicine, for supplies, and they did not rebuild it in that community. Now, what she's doing is possibly going to do the greatest disservice for the very community that she claims to be advocating for.
Yeah, pharmacy deserts.
Yeah. Well,
that's what we have.
Thankfully, we have a government-run grocery store coming.
Oh, that's going to be so helpful.
Yeah, that's going to work out swimmingly.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Compagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.